What is going on, everybody? We are back. It is the Biz Coach Show. I am the executive producer, Chris Flowers, and we are here with the founder and now 5-time editor of My Biz Coaches and Biz Coach Show, Eric Whitmore. What is up, brother?
Not too much. Actually, a lot. A lot is up.
A lot is up. You're right.
A lot is up. Yes. There's a lot going on right now. We got a lot of cool things happening. So, super excited about the momentum that's building for sure.
Absolutely.
How about you, sir?
Opening day in baseball is right around the corner, so we're getting happy about that too. We got March Madness going on with UConn. We're gonna be doing some things, man.
Is that even a team?
The UConn Huskies? You mean the? Would you like to talk about the 6-time national championship, sir?
Whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
Are they slated number one?
Number 2 in their bracket. UConn women are number 1 overall. UConn men are number 2 in the East bracket. So we're in the same bracket with Duke though, so it's might be a little tough. It is what it is. We'll find out. Hey, let's put it this way: if we go through Duke, St. John's, and we make it to the Final Four, the finals, then we earned it. Let's put it that way.
Sounds good. Should be interesting. I haven't followed Final Four basketball in years, but I'm surrounded by more and more people that are into it. So I guess for somehow, some way, I'm going to get sucked into it a little bit this year.
Well, you're between ASU and U of A, so you're kind of like right there in the middle between the two of them. So.
Actually, my daughter went to ASU, so I guess
did she?
Kind of have to, yeah.
Actually, ASU were actually expected. The ASU women were on the rise. They actually got beat last night. They got upset.
Oh, no kidding, really?
Yeah, they got beat in the first round, so that kind of sucked.
Interesting. So now the women have a similar Final Four, or not Final Four, but full on tournament like that as well.
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah, man. UConn's like I said, 11-time national champions. Yeah.
I didn't know that was as big on the women's. I guess it's probably on the rise because of the WNBA.
Well, that's the reason why the WNBA is on the rise, because of the popularity of women's. And not to keep bragging, but UConn women's basketball has set the standard now. We're way above Pat Summitt. Pat Summitt's in the rear view. We're way past her. Gino Auriemma, by far and away, coach, GOAT, done, wrap, men's or women's. He's got more wins than everybody. Yeah, he's done it all. More national champions, more actual wins than any coach wouldn't. All of them. He's beat them all.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And it's funny because in sports, there's so many times where, certain benchmarks are achieved and we're kind of like, oh, nobody will ever break that record, like the whole Babe Ruth thing, right? Then Hank Aaron, and then people come out of the woodwork and years later, right, somebody kind of threatens that record or whatever.
Well, look at Gretzky and Ovechkin in hockey. Nobody ever thought anybody's going to beat Gretzky's goal record ever, and here comes Ovechkin.
I'm not even familiar. Really? No kidding. I didn't.
Yeah, he overtook him last year. Yeah.
No kidding.
Yep,
oh, wow.
Grade 8 is number 1 now. That. Yep.
So how close was Lemieux to Gretzky? Because he had to be pretty close. He was up there.
He was close. I know he was definitely in the probably the top 5.
I was going to say at least top 5. Yeah. But I'm pretty sure he retired before he exceeded Gretzky's record.
Oh, he did. Let me play executive producer here.
I think you're executive producing for the wrong show here, sir.
We're turning this into ESPN.
That's right. No. It's going to be way better than ESPN.
Yeah, that's right. You got that right. So we got Alexander Ovechkin's number 1. Gretzky's 2. Gordie Howe's still 3. Jaromir Jagr, your other in there.
I forgot about
4.
Jagr.
He did play for the Rangers for a minute, but he was obviously mostly Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I'm going to claim him for a minute. We got Brett Hull number 5, Marcel Dion number 6, Phil Esposito 7, Mike Gardner's 8, Mark Messier's 9. There's no way. Mario Lemieux's 11? What?
Oh, no kidding. Well, just outside.
Yeah, he's 11, bro. 690. Even I was going to
say, as I think about it, though, Jagr was definitely more of the scoring threat, and they played at the same time for a while together too.
Right. So everybody's getting on Mario. Everybody was double teaming Mario, opening him up.
And Yager was the young up and comer, and it was really lit for you to leverage that.
And he was a big dude, and he was a beast. So yeah. So yeah, that makes sense. I didn't think Mike Gardner would be ahead of freaking Mario Lemieux.
I don't even know who Mike Gardner is. Who do you play for?
He played for the Rangers, and he played for I think Toronto. I think he played for the Maple Leafs too, but he played for the Rangers too. Phil Esposito, same thing. Obviously, Phil Esposito. He played for Boston. He also played for the Rangers. He was like one of my childhood things. 717 goals, where Mario Lemieux had 690. That's weird. I would never have thought that. But anyway, and we got Sid the Kid. He's actually up there. He's at 15. He's at 653.
Sydney,
but he's only 2 behind Brendan Shanahan, so he'll beat that. Luke Robitaille is 13 at 668. So I think Sid will pass those two guys. 684. Timo Salon. I don't know if he's going to get there. 684. That's pretty big. But if he can catch Mario, he's what 37 away from Mario at 11.
Wow, crazy.
Hey man.
Well, let's talk about breaking some records in business.
Yeah, we should probably do that. We're gonna have to start our own sports show. Anyway,
that's right.
There's another thing going on here.
Well, interesting. You should mention that, Chris, because I heard that we got a new partnership coming along here.
Yes, we do. Yes, we most certainly do. With My Biz Coaches and Business Coach Show getting together, and we're going to do some executive producing for podcasts. We're partnering up because, like I said, we've been getting a lot of requests. A lot of people are seeing our footage here. A lot of people are seeing my footage on Here's the Deal. And as I'm out and about doing my thing, everybody's like, hey, do you produce podcasts? Do you produce podcasts? And of course, like I said, where there's a need, got to fill the need, right? So that's what
right. There you go. Excellent. So to My Biz Coaches, our marketing arm, the Partner Pro Marketing Solutions, and Here's the Deal Video Marketing are going to partner together, and we're going to start producing video shows. So it's going to be Chris's project. He's going to own and run that, and we're going to partner up and support a little bit. But some of your clients are going to become our coaches. And Correct. Then I know that you got some other, you actually just mentioned right before the show, you got a handful of people already reaching out to you saying, hey, would you be willing to do this? And we have a couple of different solutions that we can put together for clients. So excited about the new opportunity. We've got a few things to iron out, but super excited to be able to introduce that and talk about how we can help others get their shows up and running and see the value and the results from running their own podcast or YouTube shows.
Yeah. And like I said, it goes back into, you and I have talked about this before, and I've done a show on it, things like that, where we're diversifying the revenue streams, which is great, but we're still keeping the main thing. We're staying in our lane. We're staying in business. We're staying in video. We're staying in podcasting. Where we've grown in expertise, we've grown in our subscribers, we've grown in our views. So we're staying in our lane, but at the same time, we're still having that good diversified revenue stream to where, like I said, offsetting, markets change, things change. And like I said, so if we get anything we do, but we're keeping the main thing. We're not going off and we're not doing a sports show because we're not there yet, but we're keeping it in the lane of business. So yeah,
Right. That's right. Yeah,
because sports show yet.
I was going to say, and if we were doing the sports show, I would expect you to know the top 10 off the top of your head anyway. So
yeah, I knew the top 5. I knew that.
But yeah, so super excited to make that announcement. Glad to be partnering with you guys. Here's the Deal Video Marketing. But what's super interesting, you mentioned that we're staying in our lanes, but we also continue to innovate, right? Here's the deal. I did a study on this. There was a study done. I took the information from that study and shared that on a show that I did for another company, for another group. And we were talking about the creator economy. And I think I may have mentioned this on the show before, but I think it's relevant as you mentioned that, right? The creator economy is set to grow from approximately $250 million. I'm sorry. Yeah. $250 billion. Let me get it right. $250 billion industry is set to grow from that to $500 billion. $500 million. You get it right. Yeah, it is billion. My bad. So $250 million to $500 million in revenue, and as far as the industry as a whole, in the next 2 years, it's set to almost double in the next 2 years. And there was a second group, and I'd have to go back and do the research on this to find out what I had it from the show that I did, but I think it was last November when I did that. And what, in addition to that, it's set to go from about $500 million to $1 trillion by 2030. Mm-hmm. So just 4 years from now, there's very strong likelihood that the creator economy, what we're talking about, running your own podcast, that will grow to $1 trillion industry in the next 4.5-ish years. So you want to get a piece of that. Now's the time to get on board with it.
And I was also having a conversation with somebody yesterday who's an expert in this particular field, working with podcasts and doing AI and all this other kind of stuff, where we were having this conversation that it's, everybody's talking about, oh, AI is going to take over this area. There's certain things AI is good at. Creating the creative, that's us. AI is not doing that. It'll help us enhance what we're doing, what we're thinking. Absolutely. Maybe get some different outlooks. But as far as thinking of it, tweaking it, innovating it, AI is not doing that. Not anytime real soon. So if you can think it now, like I said, now let's do it. I mean, we'll use this. We always use our tools, all of our tools, whether it's human resources, AI, whatever. We're always innovating that way. But at the same time, this right here is not going away. If anything, like you're saying, it's going to be $1 trillion business.
Right. Yeah. And that's, I think that's key for anybody who's ever considered, if you're a professional in a space where selling your product or service requires you to go through a bit of a consultative process, right? To go through a discussion. This is the way you do it. You create a video channel. You let people get to know, like, and trust you on video. You get them to see you, right? You build that trust factor. People hear you. They hear you, what you're talking about. They associate. And they're like, oh, this is somebody I want to learn more from. And they tune in, and then they get on your show. And then that's the, when we talk about from a marketing perspective, 7 to 12 touch points before the sale happens. Mm-hmm. That's your 7 to 12 touch points. Let them watch a half a dozen shows, have a couple of conversations, and that's your sales process, right? Or at least your marketing process to lead to the sales conversation. So that's a huge piece. And to your point, it's not going anywhere. If anything, it's going to become a bigger component.
Growing.
Where are TV channels going right now?
All streaming, all online.
Everything is going streaming online. Apps. And
yep.
I don't know. I can't quote this for certain, but I will venture to say that YouTube views, if they haven't already exceeded traditional viewership on TV, I'll bet you it's getting freaking close, because that is such a behemoth of just concentrated content. People on YouTube looking at watching these people's shows and what they're producing out there. So you're going to see a huge divestiture of the power brokers in information sharing and content and stuff like that. So it's a pretty interesting time for us.
Executive producer time again.
There we go.
As YouTube has surpassed traditional linear TV in viewership by becoming the top streaming platform, according to Nielsen data, May of 2025.
There you
go. Streaming captured 44.8% of TV usage, outpacing cable and broadcast sets at 44.2%. With YouTube holding 12.5% of total TV viewing. Additional TV screens are now the primary device for watching YouTube in the US. So if anything, people are using their smart TVs going on YouTube, and which is kind of funny because I have YouTube TV myself. That's my streaming service. So it says YouTube in the US with over 1 billion hours watched daily.
1 billion hours watched daily. Yeah, it's like you said, it's not going anywhere. It's
not only is it not going anywhere, but if we have video and we can produce your commercials for you and get those on those streaming services, which we do offer that at My Biz Coaches. And here's the deal. We're doing that. That's what, again, it's not going anywhere. If anything, it's growing. So
Yep, exactly. Yeah, so pretty amazing stuff going on, to your point. Lots of really cool stuff, and that isn't even what we were going to talk about today.
No. In the military, we call this target of opportunities. This is what's called an HVT, high value target. So
that's right. Exactly. Yeah, so today we're going to talk a little bit about the new show format. We're going to switch up the format of the show. Again,
Yes, sir.
Stay true to the core, continue to innovate. And, for years, I've been talking about how My Biz Coaches is a collective of coaches. And for anybody who's been tuning into the show for the last couple of years, you've seen a couple of different people. You saw David was my original producer, and then he had to move on. Chris graciously stepped in and took over the role, taking us to a whole nother level. I think we're just short of 2,000 subscribers now, and over 125,000 views that we've received. So it's growing nicely. As we progress through that, we've also added new interviewees, and we've actually enhanced some of the productions that we're doing, changed up the equipment that we're using to get better results.
Sure.
And now we're actually in a position where we're going to start introducing some of those other coaches that we've been talking about. So Next week, we're going to have one of the first coaches on. Her name is Laura Boone. Laura will be joining us on the show. So it'll be the three of us running that show. And when we do that, we're going to identify a series of other coaches that will come in and join us. And we'll actually have more of a panel engagement with multiple coaches and their perspectives on different topics that we're going to discuss. In addition to that, then we'll also begin to interview business owners who would like to come on the show and be provided coaching live on the show. So we're actually going to have interviewees, business owners who have different types of businesses, come onto the show, and then myself and Laura and any of the other coaches that are joining us, we're actually going to provide them coaching live on the show. So that's kind of the nuance of the new outline. So if we don't have an interviewee, we'll just have a topic that we'll go through, but we'll have myself and then Laura and maybe some other coaches as well. So we may have as many as 3 or 4 coaches on the call at any given time, just discussing and talking about what we believe is the most impactful and highest ROI that we can provide for our clients, and then we'll sprinkle in some actual potential clients. I'll say more specifically that we'll introduce them into the show, bring them in, and let them see what it's like to get feedback from 3, 4, 5 different coaches at the same time, and get some perspective on their business and things that they could actually do, things they can leave the show with and actually go implement into their business. So that's the new strategy.
An initial hesitation with some business owners, maybe I don't want all my stuff out there like that. Like, hey, I'm struggling with this or that and the third, but 2 things happen here, and wrap your mind around this, if you will. Number 1, it shows that you're constantly wanting to learn and improve your business.
That's
so
right.
It shows clients, hey, this person's willing to even, put their skeletons out there, say, hey, I'm, a little weak in this particular or whatever. So it shows your potential clients that you're still growing, you're still learning, you're still evolving.
Right.
But also number 2, you may get some market exposure into places where you never had it before. So even though you're quote unquote being coached in a mastermind, kind of an environment kind of thing with some different coaches, it's putting your brand out there. It's putting your name out there. And so, somebody who may not have seen you before, you may get some potential clients just from being exposed from the viewers of this show.
Absolutely.
Don't hesitate. I mean, it's going to be scary. Like, you're going to have to, how you say, put your ego aside. But even anytime you approach a business coach, you're putting your ego aside and say, hey, you know what? I don't know this. But you know what? Not knowing it is okay.
Right.
It's fine. You know what I mean?
Let us help you move through that process, right?
Correct.
Yep. Absolutely.
That's the only way you're going to scale your business up.
Yeah. And I appreciate you bringing that up, Chris. That's a great point that I honestly hadn't even, I guess I hadn't thought about completely. But to your point, people are going to get in there and be like, oh, I don't know if I want to share all that information, right? So here's the thing. The reason we're encouraging you to kind of consider. So if you're interested, you're going to want to reach out. This will be in the show notes. There'll be an email address that you can reach out to us and ask to be on the show. We do a virtual, so you can call in from anywhere. But we'll do an interview with you. We'll actually provide you live coaching on the show. There'll be some minimal preparation, but the intent is to create some real value for people who are listening and seeing what it's like to be coached in that particular way, with the insight and perspective. And I say that particular way, meaning you have multiple coaches, not just one, but multiple that are giving you perspective. Yes. We'll make sure that you get the best value you can get from the experience. And then most importantly, when the show's over, you get to leave with the show notes and go back and execute that on your business and get that. And we're not charging for that. We just want to get you on the show and show people what that experience is like so they can get a better perspective on what we do.
Absolutely. And this is where people even might ask me, they may say, hey, you're doing your own podcast, you're doing video creation. How does this, doing show production and this and that, how is that tying in? Well, it's simple, because the main mission of Here's the Deal is to educate, elevate, and inspire entrepreneurs.
Right.
This does it. Okay. This will do it. Like I say, if you're willing to be coached by some of the best coaches out there, and you're willing to say, hey, and again, it shows that you're willing to grow. It shows that you're willing to be coached. Okay. But it also, it all ties into educate, elevate, because somebody's going to see that and they're going to say, you know what? I was afraid to start this business because I didn't know this.
Right.
Now that I've heard it, now maybe I could start my own thing and do my own thing knowing this. So you're giving back, okay, by you, quote unquote, exposing yourself, if you will. It's not really exposing, but by you saying, hey, you know what? I need some help with this particular area, allowing yourself to be vulnerable, but at the same time, you're allowing other people to see that, hey, you know what? Oh, hey, that was freaking me out. Hey, we can do that. Hey, so if look at it from that, I said, I talk about this a lot. Each one, teach one. When you're here, you need to reach back and help somebody else up because you've already made it here. So by you being able to be coached online, it's doing that, is getting you more market exposure, but it's also inspiring other people to say, hey, you know what? That's how I can push through too. Let's do it.
Exactly. Yep. I'm super excited. This is when actually it was. I have to give Ian, it's my brother, the credit that he deserves in regards to that, because we were discussing the idea of a new show and what that would look like. And I was thinking more along the lines of like a Shark Tank kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of overdone, right? But if you think Shark Tank meets what's that? We're at restaurant one, bar rescue or something like that.
Yeah.
Where people are struggling in their businesses. And I don't want to deal with just struggling businesses, although we'll gladly help them. But I want a combination of all different types of where we'll take on startups. We'll take existing businesses that are looking to sell. We have the coaching, we have the team that can offer you the insight and perspective that you need to make the important decisions that you want to make for your business. And the value of being on the show is we're giving it all for free, right? We just want to get people on here to see and experience what it's like. Because if you're working with a business coach right now and you're working one-on-one with somebody, that's great. That's a good experience. What's better is when you have multiple reference points.
Right.
That aren't conflicting, right? And they're clear on the objectives of what you're trying to accomplish, but they have added depth in certain areas of the business that you as an individual business owner, you've heard me talk about the 7 core competencies. Mm-hmm. We only bring 2 or 3 to the table as entrepreneurs. And so somehow we have to solve for the others. Like, I'm not going to try and be the techie guy that's going to run this podcast. That's what Chris agreed to do when he came on board to help us out, right? And Chris has got a background in finance, and we collaborate on finance topics all the time. But he's also not trying to be an accountant, right? He understands business credit. He understands loans. He understands finance from the perspective of qualifying for business credit and loans. But he's not trying to do your bookkeeping, and he's certainly not going to give you tax advice or anything like that, right? And so, but we have guys for that. We have women for that. We have.
That's why I call you.
We have fractional CFOs for that solution, right? I'm pretty good on operations, but if we're getting really deep into it, I got 2 or 3 fractional COOs that we'll bring in, and they'll sit down and they'll say, okay, let's go through this. We're about to announce some really interesting things. I'm going to say probably late spring, early summer, so May, June. we're going to announce some amazing things that relates to AI and what we're doing with AI with coaching. I've identified, I've looked at the patterns, I've seen how things are playing out, and I've recognized that I'm like, if we don't adjust our business model, we're not going to be around in 2 or 3 years. So My Biz Coaches, 6.5 years in business, I'm expecting to be at least the 10-year mark, if not 20 or 25 years down the road here before I fade away into the woodwork. But the intent is, while we're doing this, we're evolving. We're preparing this business for the next 5 to 10 years. And one of those things is how we adopt AI into the business and how we use it intelligently. If you're using AI to do your coaching, okay, you're getting some good perspective, but that's not a coach, right? It's giving you ideas, it's giving you insight, it's giving you perspective, but it's not necessarily giving you what you really need, which is the wisdom of somebody who's been there, done that, right? So
Correct.
Those are great ideas, and they're very well give you the outline of what you need to do to execute. But you also have to understand, you want somebody who's got the perspective of the life experience of doing those things, and knowing the trials and tribulations you're likely going to run into just trying to execute on it, because that's the human element that the AI can't prepare you for. However, we can develop a program where it's AI integrated, and you get the added value of a live coach who can provide that information. So lots of really cool, exciting things coming in the next couple of months and over the next 2 or 3 years as we prepare for the next 5 to 10 years.
I had a meeting with somebody the other day, and they pretty much summed up purpose. And they're AI, enthusiast experts, kind of thing. Is that AI is for paperwork, people are for people work. And there's a distinct difference between the two. So I'm like, okay, I'm totally stealing that.
Consider it
trademark that shit.
Consider it sold.
I'm like, you should have trademarked that, because now I'm stealing it. No, and it makes total sense too, like I said, because AI is, we use it all the time. We're total advocates of it, but at the same time, there's no, AI is not Eric. We could put all kinds of Eric input into it, but it's still not going to be you, and not going to be able to adjust on the fly. And it's that, vice versa with me. Like, say, I'm going to see things and hear things about your story that you didn't even realize. I'm like, that's a reel right there. Oh, really? Yeah. Yep. So that AI ain't doing that.
Right. Yeah, it's a great point. And actually, that's a great example of what you just said. I could very easily watch a series of video clips, and I'll go through that, or I'll rephrase that. I'll go through and I'll spout out a bunch of statistics and information and thoughts and ideas and stuff like that. And Chris will be able to go, that's a reel. That should be that's a 3-minute coaching moment. That's a 5-minute coaching moment. And he can identify those opportunities and say, you need to record that. Right? Because the truth of the matter is, at the end of the day, we're our own worst enemies in many cases. When you're trying to create content and you're trying to create, you're identifying, what's valuable information that somebody else will value. Well, here's the thing: we have this bias against ourselves. We're like, oh, who's going to want to? Like we talked about the book, right? Who's going to even read my book? Why would I write this? Nobody's going to read this. Why would anybody read this, right? And because we have this internal bias against ourselves that says, well, is it really good enough, right? And so then you're like, well, nobody's going to read it anyway. Why should I bother? That's the whole point. Get it out there, put it out there, let people decide for themselves if it's valuable. But if you know and understand something well, and you can lead people, you said each one teach one, right? I was one of the most important things I learned in the martial arts is once you learn how to do something, you turn around and teach the next person. If you go from white belt to yellow belt, you turn around as a yellow belt, you teach white belt classes. Correct. And you help those individuals beyond you grow, because that's also what you're teaching at a most elementary level. You're teaching basic leadership skills. You're teaching somebody how to lead somebody else. And I'll say this till I die, the biggest skill set that is lacking, in my opinion, in our world is good quality leadership.
God, yes.
Right. And I'm not talking about business leadership, although that's definitely a component of it. I'm talking about just leadership in general. Look at our politicals. Look at your education programs. Look at everywhere. Look at your churches and your religions. And I mean, I'm not going to bash anything, but I will tell you that you can see lots and lots of bad examples of leadership everywhere you want to look.
Sure.
Everywhere you want to look.
Rampant. Yep.
Right. And that's one of the
people that are good leaders stand out so far above everybody else.
It's so obvious when you see
whether it's in football, whether it's in business, whether what you know who the alphas are.
That's right.
Right now.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's apparent.
And what's so important is more good leaders will create a better humanity for all of us, right? It will create a better class of person, and because people aren't. There's nothing wrong with being self-motivated, or no, I'm sorry, but looking to get what you can for yourself. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But generally speaking, everybody knows that if you want to get something significant, you solve a problem for a lot of people, and that's generally how you're able to get something for yourself. The more value you provide to the world, the more value you'll get back, right?
We said this before on the show too. Is like, if you want to get somewhere fast, go by yourself. If you want to go far,
right?
Group.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah. If you want to sustain over an extended period of time, you've got to take a team with you, and to do that, you have to be a good leader. You have to be somebody who's worthy that people want to listen to and follow. So yeah, huge. So super excited about all the changes. Or I say all the changes, but a lot of these new nuances that we're introducing. Super excited about the partnership with Here's the Deal Video Marketing. I think that's going to be I can't even begin to go into how much value that's going to create for people who want to get into your own podcast. Mm-hmm. I would not have the show that we have today if it weren't for Chris, because
I appreciate it.
I wouldn't have had the discipline every week, right, to show up and do the production. Then even then, once you get the video, oh, that's great, you got a video. What are you going to do with the video now, right? I'm going to tell you easily 90% of the people would get the video and be like, now what do I do? Right? Not that they don't know intellectually what to do. It's taking the time now to go to the next step and then take the video and rip out reels and do the editing and then post it on YouTube. That takes a tribe. That takes a group of people to do all that.
It does.
And if you're trying to do it all yourself, if you're good at it, great, do it yourself. But the reality is, what you're not good at, you need to bring in those other people to help you. And so, the value of having a producer help you or teach you, at least show you how to do that, get that up and running and get it off your, I'd really like to do that list into the I'm doing it list. And now that you're doing it, when you start doing it, anything worth doing is worth doing great. So how do we do it better? Right? Which is my philosophy is you're constantly always constant, never ending improvement. How do I make it better? Right? The show's good. It's time for the show to get better. Let's take it to the next level. Right?
I think this evolution is going to be great having on multiple coaches, because like I said, not because we're growing My Biz Coaches to where, like I said, we're going to have a team of coaches, not going to be just Eric, and what we already have. What are we at 20 something?
29
or 29 coaches.
29,
okay.
Yeah.
So we're at 29 and growing, and you're, what was the goal was 100, right? Are we doing 100 or
ultimately it's 1,000?
Okay, well, I say the goal was 100. We probably exceeded again, just like every business. Like I said, you set goals and then you check in quarterly. Okay, we're way exceeding that. We blew that number out of the water. We got to readjust for the So ultimately, we're going to have 1,000 coaches, things like that. So again, 1,000 coaches, different perspectives, different experiences, different expertise. But it's not like you're going to not get all of us. You're going to get all of us, because if it comes to a financial structure thing or a podcast, Eric's going to call me. If I get into a situation where like, hey, I got a client, man, we're operational, like, I'm going to call Eric, so you get all of us, in there. So it's a collective,
That's right. Yeah. And we have, like I said, we have the operations people, we have the sales people, we have the marketing people, we have the video production people we have, right? And then if you're stuck and you don't have the back end resources to do certain tasks, well, we can show you how to set up your own AI solutions. We can have you partner with our VA solutions, right? There's so many different opportunities that we can help create for your business. We can even come as a collective team, depending on the size of your business, and we can implement strategies for you if you don't have the resources and the time to do it. You can contract us to come in and roll something out within your organization. Guess what I got? I've got like 25 years in the wireless industry. I've got I've got 30 years in sales and leadership. And I will tell you, of those 30 years, I've got 25 years of going in and cleaning up other people's messes.
Oh yeah.
Right.
30 years in finance. I've done the same thing.
I'm very familiar with, what it takes to get something launched. I've personally opened over 150 locations in my career. Doing that, you learn a few things. Right? I love quoting the is it State Farm commercial? We know a few things because we've seen a few things.
Well, yeah, I think it was something like that.
I know a thing or two because I've seen a thing or two, right?
Yeah.
But I've seen the gamut of building out retail locations and hiring and as a farmer. My bad, yeah. But the key is just really kind of helping people understand there's so many different things that go into effectively running a big business, let alone any business. And there's so many different tools and resources that we can provide and make available to you.
Here's another point of video. We just said it. That's stuck in our head. Okay. You said State Farm. It's stuck in my head. It was Farmers. Because you know why? Because we've seen it over and over and over and over again on video. So again, video is essential for what you're trying to accomplish. I don't care what it is.
Yeah.
Because when you have that type of reaction between the two of us, it's stuck,
that's it.
Right?
That's it. Yeah, great point. Absolutely. And it's funny. Years ago, I remember working with when I was doing my initial development, personal growth development. Anthony Robbins mentioned that, and he used references. Yeah, he used references of commercials from the 70s and 80s that most of them I knew. Yeah, it was, and most of them I knew, but there were actually some that I didn't know, and I was like, "Wow, that's crazy!" But it was because it was a product or a category that I was not interested in. So it never really didn't resonate with in the same way. But then there was something like, what was it? The Oscar Mayer Wiener song. Right?
Remember that?
There's no person who's over the age of 50 that did not hear that song, that can't hear that song and be like,
oh my God, now it's going to be in my head all day. Thanks a lot. Appreciate that. Thanks.
You got it, man.
I wish I wasn't as good. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Exactly. But that's to your point. That's the value of video, right? I mean, it's that was Audible, but I mean, it's still you do the same thing with video, right? And if you add the visual component of that with, I mean, anybody who's ever seen a beautiful sunset in the Southwest, right? I guarantee you go onto any calendar selection of different calendars, you're going to find very often a Southwest sunset, right? If you're doing like sunset locations or something like that, you're going to see a sunset Southwest sunset, because it just resonates with people. And people are going to go, I don't know if that's Arizona or New Mexico or exactly where that's at, but that's somewhere out in that area, right? So that's the visual component of that. Like, it sinks, it anchors, right? If I look at something and I see snow-capped mountains, I'm thinking Wyoming, Colorado, could be, or it could even be the Canadian Rockies, right? But it's right. You got a general idea where it's at. So you got the visual component of something like that. You have the audible component of locking that in, and that's how you entrench. I mean, that's basic marketing, right? And irony is that we actually use that in programming, right? And everything that we do when we're trying to program ourselves, if you're trying to program a new habit, you use that strategy.
Yep. Absolutely.
So, yeah.
All right. So just to recap, just to tie it off, the Biz Coach Show, we're evolving. We're going to bring on other business coaches from our stable at My Biz Coaches. So that way you get introduced to them, you get to hear their expertise, they get their input. We're going to evolve the show to where we're going to have clients come on and be coached by multiple coaches here, okay, on the show and things like that. Yeah, they're going to learn different things about their business, but they're going to gain market exposure, and they're also going to inspire other people that say, hey, you know what, I was, that's what was holding me back too. And kind of go from there. So you're going to go far, you're going to go beyond your quote unquote self and your direct compensation, and you're going to inspire somebody else, and you're going to change their family's trajectory. So, it's good to give back, each one, teach one kind of thing. And then of course there's always a partnership between, My Biz Coaches and Here's the Deal, but we're just going to take that to the next level with the podcast production and doing that as well. So.
Absolutely. Lots of great things and even more to come. So
more to come.
Sharing
and
that.
The 5-time author, Eric Whitmore. The book is it actually out yet? Is it
officially ebook and print on Amazon, and it's actually on the site now to go ahead and order. We have a special promotion. If you buy it on the site, you can buy the book. You'll get the digital download immediately. And then we have a special promotion for anybody that we're actually going to do a period of time where the Kindle version will be free for a few days. And if you buy the book and get the digital download, we'll tell you when the Kindle free version is going to be, and you can go and download that version as well. So all of that for just $14.95.
There you go. There's a wrap. I know mine is en route. I pre-ordered. We're good.
You pre-order. You might even get an autograph from the author.
There, see, maybe just
maybe.
It's not going to be up there with my Don Mattingly signed Yankee hair. It's not going to be at that level. All right,
awesome,
man.
Great show, Chris. Appreciate it.
We're moving on. We're moving up, my brother.
Yes, sir.
Have a good one.
Powder.